In a faraway village, there was a strange and troubling curse. Not a single man lived there. The women, both young and old, had to go outside their home to find men. They needed men for companionship, to have children, and to feel complete. However, finding men became a big problem. The women traveled to nearby villages, searching for men who could satisfy their needs. Often, they went in groups, roaming the village squares, looking for men. Sometimes, this search led to arguments and even fights among the women. They argued about who saw a man first or who deserved to be with him more. In these fights, some women got hurt, but they kept on searching and fighting, hoping to find what they needed. The women of the cursed village were determined to find men, no matter what it took. They believed that if they could bring men back to their village, everything would be better. They even traveled to big cities like Lagos, trying to find men there. But the problem remained, and they needed a new plan. One day, a group of maidens gathered in the village square. They were tired of the constant searching and fighting. They decided to visit a powerful native doctor who lived deep in the forest. They hoped he could help them solve their problem once and for all. The native doctor listened to their story and thought deeply. After a while, he agreed to help them. He gave them a special charm, a powerful magic that could steal a man's manhood. The maidens were thrilled, but the native doctor warned them of the charm's dark side. He said that any man who had his manhood stolen would die. The manhood would be theirs, but the man would not live. He also warned them to be careful, as if the charm touched a man's manhood, it would backfire on them, and they would be cursed even worse than before. The maidens listened carefully. They knew the risk was great, but they were desperate. They took the charm and thanked the native doctor. With the charm in hand, they felt more powerful and ready to face the world outside their village. They set out on their mission, determined to succeed. They believed that with the charm, they could finally bring men back to their village and end their suffering. But deep down, they wondered if the price they had to pay was too high. As they left the village, they knew that their journey was just beginning. The maidens started their journey, leaving their village to find men. With the charm from the native doctor, they had a new plan. They would charm men to sleep with them, and after the act, they would touch the men with the charm. The men's manhoods would disappear, and the men would die. This became their new way of life. The maidens hid in the bushes, waiting for men to walk by so they could steal their manhoods. They collected many manhoods, and some had more than others. This difference started to cause problems among them. Jealousy set in. Some maidens owned many manhoods, while others had only a few or just one. This made them envious of each other. They began to argue and fight, their unity breaking apart. The fights grew serious, even deadly, as they fought over who deserved more manhoods. Some maidens, seeing a way to benefit, started selling their extra manhoods. They made money from this, which added to the jealousy and anger. The village that had hoped to solve its problems now faced new troubles. The maidens, once united in their quest, now turned against each other, their village more divided than ever. The maidens who sold manhoods became wealthy, while others who had fewer manhoods felt cheated and angry. The envy and greed grew, leading to more conflicts. The maidens who once fought together now fought each other, their village falling deeper into chaos. As the situation worsened, the maidens wondered if their journey had brought them more trouble than it was worth. They had set out to end their suffering, but now they faced a new kind of curse, one that came from within their own hearts. The maidens continued their journey, each hoping to find a way to overcome the envy and greed that had taken over their village. In the cursed village, there was a maiden named Yulai. She was the most beautiful maiden in the village, and whenever she went out to steal manhoods from men, she always returned with bags full of them. Men found it hard to resist her beauty, so Yulai could easily charm them. Yulai became very successful. She started selling the manhoods because she could collect so many each day. She even rented them to other maidens. She had all sizes: small, big, oversized. Yulai made a lot of money from selling manhoods and became very rich. However, Yulai's success made other maidens envious. One day, a group of jealous maidens invaded her house to destroy her fame and wealth. They collected all the manhoods in Yulai's house, put them in a big mortar, and used a pestle to pound them into pieces. Yulai cried and shouted for help, but the maidens did not stop until all the manhoods were pounded into a paste like sardines. Heartbroken and furious, Yulai realized all her hard work and efforts had been destroyed. She was filled with rage, determined to rebuild her collection. She went out and stole more manhoods. When she returned, she had a bold and dangerous plan. She went to the place where the maidens had buried the main charm that the native doctor gave them. Yulai assumed the charm, ignoring the warnings and consequences. She rubbed the charm on the manhoods she had stolen that day. Yulai didn't care about the risk. She only wanted revenge and to regain her status. As she used the charm, she felt a surge of power, unaware of what might happen next. The path she chose was dangerous, and the consequences of her actions were unknown. As Yulai rubbed the charm on the manhoods, a great storm arose. Lightning flashed, and thunder roared across the whole village. The atmosphere became tense and frightening, and the villagers were shocked by what was happening. Suddenly, the ghosts of the men from whom the maidens had stolen manhoods began to appear. These ghosts started to chase the maidens, tormenting them. The maidens ran in every direction, crying and shouting in fear. The manhoods they had stolen also came to life, chasing and haunting them. Desperate and terrified, the maidens knew they had to find a solution to stop the chaos. The maidens decided to visit a strong native doctor in a neighboring village. This was the same native doctor who had given them the charm that Yulai had defiled. When they reached him, they explained their plight, hoping for a way out. The native doctor listened and then said, "I warned you about the consequences. There is nothing I can do to undo the sacrilege you have committed. However, there is a way to calm the spirits and stop this torment." The maidens listened closely. The native doctor continued, "You must select 3 maidens who are willing to sacrifice themselves. They must journey through the big forest and bring back 3 things: a golden calabash, 3 monkeys' manhoods, and a mermaid's hair from the river. Only then can we perform the rituals needed to calm the situation." The maidens were frightened by the dangerous task, but they knew it was their only hope. They began to discuss among themselves, trying to decide who would go on this perilous journey. As they made their plans, the atmosphere remained tense, and the ghosts and living manhoods continued to torment the village. The chosen maidens knew that the fate of their village rested on their shoulders, and they prepared to face the unknown dangers of the forest, hoping to save their home from the curse they had unleashed. The village was in chaos, and the maidens knew that time was running out. After much discussion, 3 brave maidens were chosen for the dangerous journey. They knew the task ahead was filled with danger, but they also knew that the future of their village depended on it. Early the next morning, the 3 maidens set out on their journey. The villagers watched them leave with a mix of hope and fear, praying for their safe return. The maidens entered the dense forest, determined to find the golden calabash, 3 monkeys' manhoods, and a mermaid's hair. The forest was dark and full of strange sounds. The maidens walked cautiously, aware that danger could be lurking behind every tree. They traveled for days, facing wild animals and treacherous paths, but their resolve kept them going. One day they came upon a tall tree with golden fruits. At the top of the tree, they saw the golden calabash hanging from a branch. Climbing the tree was no easy task, but with teamwork and determination, they managed to reach the calabash and carefully brought it down. Next, they needed to find the 3 monkeys' manhoods. They ventured deeper into the forest, where the monkeys lived. Catching the monkeys was challenging, as they were fast and clever.